What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and Multiversus just had a closed alpha, so I figured why not make another video on it. With the reveal of Taz and the Iron Giant, it got me thinking of even more characters that I'd want to see in this game. So that's what I'll be doing. In my last video I kinda covered the entire scope of Warner Bros. And sort of selected things from each section. But in this one I'm gonna be a lot more focused and stay in the lane of my personal interests. The Cartoon Network Adult Swim area, some honorable mentions from last time, some third parties because they said they were open to that. It'll be fun. Now don't get me wrong, I definitely did want all the characters in my previous video. Willy Wonka, Space Ghost, Mordecai, the Animaniacs, but they were also heavily influenced by predictions. This list, however, is purely going to be characters that I want regardless of how likely or unlikely they are. With all of that said, let's begin. For number 10, let's get my DC character out of the way. It's Robin. With the MCU and DC movies, plus all their parodies and their overuse in Rooster Teeth's death battle, I am just completely drained of these big-name superheroes. But one thing I'll never get tired of is the Teen Titans, where hopefully the Robin from Multiversus will come from. Apparently stuff for Raven from the Teen Titans has already been data mined in the closed alpha, but there is a possibility it could be the Teen Titans Go version. So might as well go ahead and make a specific wish so the original Teen Titans is covered. I mean, simply just having Robin there in general would be good enough, but the more independent from Batman version would be the dream. Just don't go full on Nightwing, he's a bit too similar to Batman. Number 9 is Monkey. When Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was coming out, I didn't want Jimmy Neutron, I didn't want Hugh Neutron, I wanted Ultra Lord. And now that Multiversus is coming out, I don't want Dexter, I don't want Dee Dee, I only want Monkey. Now to be fair, there are plenty of other superpowered Dexter's Lab characters like Major Glory, Kronk, the Silver Spooner. But Monkey has always been shown to be more capable than any of them, and he's always been my personal favorite. He goes to different planets in outer space, defeats tons of different foes, and he can pull entire solar systems. He even survived beatings from Macho Man Randy Savage, the wrestler. Now they did come up with a moveset for Velma, so I'm sure they'd have no trouble with Dexter, but come on, Monkey. Moving on to number 8, we have another Genndy Tartakovsky character. Gotta get back to the past, Samurai Jack. Now from your first glance or first thoughts, it seems like he'd just be a pretty generic sword user. But Multiversus has already proven itself to be very creative and unique with its moveset and mechanics. I could see them doing something really fun with Samurai Jack. For example, Season 5 of Samurai Jack gets a lot more violent and more brutal. So I could see Jack getting tougher and more unhinged with the more damage he takes. Kinda like Lucario in Smash, the aura mechanic. Plus, Jack is incredibly acrobatic, he knows several martial arts, and he's extremely resourceful when the situation calls for it. I feel like they could do a ton with him despite what his seemingly normal appearance would make one think. Keeping up with the classic Cartoon Network, at number 7 we have Courage the Cowardly Dog. Now Courage may be way more timid than Shaggy and Scooby combined could ever hope to be, but he always pulls through, and I think that makes him even stronger. He even had a recent crossover with Scooby-Doo to prove that there's still some value to his name. Aside from his cartoony slapstick shenanigans, I could also see Courage having a mechanic that involves sound, the power of his screaming. Maybe the more attacks you dodge, the more it fills up some sort of fear meter that Courage has, and the more Courage is in fear, the louder and more powerful he screams. However, Multiversus does in fact punish you for dodging too much, so you can't rely on the scream entirely, you gotta be brave sometimes. Number 6 is Numba 1 from Codename Kids Next Door. Right off the bat, I can't exactly think of a super unique mechanic or attribute that Numba 1 could use in his moveset, but I think overall he'd just be a very well-rounded character with plenty in his toolkit thanks to his 2x4 technology. Very acrobatic, good in hand-to-hand combat, lots of close-range and long-range weapons, rocket shoes for flying, and more. Again, he wouldn't be a super unique fighter, but I think he's enough of an icon to where he just needs to be there. He's a massive pillar of Cartoon Network. 6 seasons, a movie, multiple specials, a crossover with Billy and Mandy. It easily rivals Powerpuff Girls and Ed, Edd n Eddy in how much content it had for the network. Plus, the Kids Next Door Moonbase would just be a sick stage. At number 5, we're finally moving away from Cartoon Network with Wizard and Boomstick from Rooster Teeth's Death Battle. That's right, if you didn't know, Rooster Teeth is part of Warner Bros., so Wiz and Boomstick are actually very likely candidates. This isn't just a joke. I'm far from the only person that wants them too. Although a lot of the other people that say they want them say they'd just be satisfied with having them as an announcer pack. But nah, not me. I want them to dive in headfirst and make them completely playable characters. Wiz and Boomstick have spent over 10 years analyzing and comparing a bunch of different fictional characters, including plenty of Warner Bros. Characters like Ben 10, Steven Universe, and every DC character imaginable. So I want to see them get in there and get their hands dirty, see how they stack up against these guys after observing them for so long. Plus, we could have a Professor Boomstickium alt for Boomstick, where he wins the battle with his veritable versatility. Number 4 on the list is the other honorable mention from my previous Multiversus video. Popeye the Sailor Man. Now, Popeye isn't owned by Warner Bros. In fact, in some parts of the world, I think he's even in the public domain. I'm not sure though, that whole situation's screwy, so I need to look into it more, but yeah. Of all the classic cartoon titans like Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, and Woody Woodpecker, Popeye was always my personal favorite. Multiversus already has Bugs Bunny, the Scooby Gang, and Tom and Jerry. Plus, Fred Flintstone has been rumored ever since the game was revealed, so adding in another classic icon as big as Popeye would be a pretty huge deal. Besides, he's the only one of those classic characters that I just listed who specifically specializes in pummeling palookas. He's perfect for Multiversus. Number 3 is Omniman from Invincible. Okay, so maybe Teen Titans isn't the only superhero thing I'm not sick of yet. Apparently, from what I've heard, something from Stranger Things has been data mined in Multiversus, which is a Netflix property. So maybe we could get something from Amazon with Invincible. I'd love to see the character interactions with Omni-Man, especially Superman reacting to an evil Superman that isn't just another Superman but evil. Also, seeing Omni-Man's reaction to the real versions of the Guardians of the Globe would be pretty great too. I'm not super sure what they could do with him moveset-wise to make him more unique, but they could have a little mechanic here or there that has to do with his Viltrumite healing factor, or how he flies by moving through physical space rather than, like, propelling himself and stuff. He should definitely just be there for who he is as a character rather than moveset potential. I mean, I'd still main Omni-Man even if he was a complete Superman clone. Number 2 is Charlie Dompler from Smiling Friends! Yay! Now, we have a handful of Cartoon Network characters, a handful of DC characters, a handful of classic characters, and even a handful of live-action characters like Arya Stark and the data-mined Gandalf and LeBron James. But all we have for Adult Swim so far is Rick and Morty. No offense to people who like Rick and Morty, but Rick and Morty doesn't really feel like an Adult Swim show. It feels like a show that belongs on another network. If Aqua Teen was the only thing that was data mined for Adult Swim, then that'd be a bit more understandable. But Rick and Morty is not enough. So to pick up the pace in the Adult Swim category, I want to see their new hit Smiling Friends get represented. There's not much of a moveset idea that really comes to mind, but I just want to hear Zach Hadel fighting sounds. Or better yet, a Zach Hadel announcer pack. I don't care how truly incredible the game is going to get in the near future. I will not consider it a 10 out of 10 game until there is a voice clip of Zach screaming at the top of his lungs in this game. Now let Charlie be in the game so he can make me smile. And my number 1 pick is Sheriff Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. Since I just mentioned live-action characters in the previous spot, might as well give off my choice. Plus, he's another Image Comics character, so if Omni-Man gets in, why not? Then there's also the rivalry with Game of Thrones. Back in their heyday, both of these series were the biggest shows to ever be on television. They were constantly being compared and battling for ratings, so seeing them finally go head-to-head in Multiversus would be really cool. Now, Walking Dead's main series may be coming to a close very soon, but the franchise as a whole has no end in sight. There's several spin-offs and crossovers that are still happening. Negan showed up in Tekken 7 years ago, they showed up in Fortnite not too long ago, and more recently Brawlhalla. The series finale is mere episodes away, yet they're still going full steam ahead with all these crossovers and promotions, and I think Multiversus would be the best place for them to show up next. But let me know what you guys think. Who are your most wanted characters in Multiversus, and what are some third-party characters that you want? Be sure to tell me down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to check them out. See you guys next time. Leopold the Brave, out.